Good morning, students. How are you all? I hope everybody of you are fine, staying well, staying home. So the season is very effective, children. So I am also suffering from cold. So you people take care, drink only the hot water and don't eat any outside foods because it is very dangerous now. So the season is very difficult and don't create any disturbance to your parents. Listen to them, keep healthy, stay healthy so that you listen to your parents, you will be definitely healthy. Whatever they ask you to take, you just take them, and whatever they ask you not to take, you just stop them. Okay, children? So the season is very effective and you have many cyclone effects, etc. So please take care. Okay, coming to our lesson, we already discussed our part 1. We already discussed our part 1 of animal fiber. In that lesson, we have discussed about silk moth and it lays 500 eggs in one go and dies off. After that, the eggs will be hatched and they grow into small worms, and these worms will feed on mulberry leaves and they grow into big size worms like silkworms in 30 to 35 days. After they grow into big worms, they weave a cocoon around them. Those are called as pattukayalu, and they were laid in the chandrikalu. These cocoons are made up of protein, very strong protein, that is sericin and fibroin, which are coming like sac-like substance from the mouth of silkworm. So these silkworm, whenever it weaves the cocoon, after 2 to 3 days of weaving the cocoon, it just cuts off the cocoon and flies away in the form of moth. So here the life cycle of silk moth is explained. The silk moth lays eggs, the eggs turns to worms, the worms turns to cocoon, the cocoon again turns to silk moth. So these are the stages of silkworm, and silk moth molts for 5 times. There are 5 steps in this stages of silkworm. There are 5 stages of silkworm. And this moth, if it breaks the cocoon will not give us the fine fiber. So the farmers, by using the process of stifling, the cocoons are boiled to a certain temperature in order to kill the moths inside. So till there you have learned in your previous class. Have you recollected all these, children? So I hope you do so. So you have recollected all these things, I am hoping. So the next thing we are coming is locating threads and reeling. Locating threads and reeling. After the process of stiffling, they locate the threads by keeping into large pots. They will have in the heavy temperatures of boiling. After boiling, they locate the threads. So what is the first process is locating threads. Locating threads. Next is reeling. Next is reeling. Locating threads and reeling. After this reeling, you will get only fiber, and the fiber turns to yarn. Yarn means darum. So, and this yarn is produced by using 2 to 3 fibers. By using 2 to 3 fibers. Whenever you observe, see children, here, this is yarn. Yes or no? This is yarn. So, in order to make this yarn, you have to use 2 to 3 fibers. You have to use 2 to 3 fibers. So when you compare, the fiber is very thinner substance than yarn. The fiber is very thinner substance than yarn. For that fiber, the people will locate threads. The people will locate threads. By taking all those cocoons into large pots, they start boiling and they start stirring with large or long sticks. After stirring, they locate the end of the thread and they will pull the thread out, and this is called to be as fiber. This fiber is made into reels. This fiber is made into reels, and this process is called as reeling. And after this reeling process, these fibers are made into yarn. For here the silk thread is obtained. Just the silk thread is only obtained. So here there is no fabric, there is no cloths produced here. Only the thread is produced. Till now only the thread is produced. After the thread is produced, how they start to make it as a cloth? They have two processes. One is handloom. One is handloom. Second one is machine weaving. Machine weaving so handloom means they use hands to weave a cloth. So if anybody is having, anybody have watched these handlooms, I don't know. So but I'll show you in the picture. So the handlooms means the two persons will have the reels of the thread, and they will arrange this thread side by side without any gaps. They arrange this thread like this, all the threads. So these threads completely make a cloth. And this process is done by either handloom or machine weaving. In this machine weaving, there are man or human beings who use the machines to make this fabric. Using fiber, they made fabric. Fabric means cloth. Fiber means a single thread. Yarn means the thread. So in order to make this fabric, they use two types of methods. One is handloom, second one is machine weaving. So these handlooms are very cost because the people, by using their own hands, they weave the fabric. And this is called as cheneta. So everybody are very well known about this cheneta. Cheneta means చేతులతో నేస్తారు, నెయ్యడం అంటారు, బట్టల్ని నేయడం అంటారు. This is called as handloom, and this is called as machine weaving. After making this fabric, these fabrics are very different types were there. If you observe in your textbook, they have given many types of silk. Dharmavaram pattu, Pochampalli pattu, Kanchi pattu. So you listen from your parents or other people, they always say, idi enti ante Dharmavaram chira, Bengali pattu, Pochampalli pattu, Kanchi pattu, Upada pattu. So they say different types of silk. Pattu means silk, right? So they say different types of silks. And the Dharmavaram is very famous for this handloom sarees. And Dharmavaram is also called as Silk City of Andhra Pradesh. Dharmavaram is also called as Silk City. Dharmavaram is called as Silk City of Andhra Pradesh because the maximum silk production is done in Dharmavaram. In Andhra Pradesh. In Andhra Pradesh, Dharmavaram is a place where the silk is mostly produced. So hence Dharmavaram is called to be as Silk City of Andhra Pradesh. Now I will show you the pictures in your textbook. You just watch them, okay? See children, this is stifling. So stifling is already shown by you in the previous lesson. Yes or no? See? They were boiled to certain temperature and the moths inside were killed. And next here, this is the process of reeling. So by keeping in large pots, they were stirring and they were locating the ends of the thread. See here, one lady is picking up the threads and these also picking up the threads. This process is called to be as stirring something and they were reeling. And here, this is locating the ends of threads. And they were started to reel. They were started to reel onto the reels. And these are the three processes you have learned today. See, locating the ends of thread of the cocoon. And next, as I told you, see, have you been observed these children any time? So the two people here are weaving. So mostly in our areas we don't see, but I have seen in my village this weaving process is done by two people by having these horizontal thread lines and the vertical thread lines. They weave a sari. See here, they are weaving a sari. These two people, by using only hand, they use this sari. See, if you have observed, obtaining silk from the fiber of cocoon is called reeling. It is done with special machines called reelers and twisters. The silk fiber is carefully collected on the cocoon. Nearly 3 to 8 such threads are wound together to make a yarn. I already told you the fiber is very thin, and these fiber 3 to 8 such threads were wound together to make a yarn. This yarn is cleaned, bleached and colored. After obtaining this yarn, this is cleaned properly and this is bleached and colored. The yarn is ready to be woven in variety designed fabrics on looms. You can see the reeling centers at Nandikotkur, Hyderabad, Karimnagar, etc. So in these places you are having reeling centers, it seems. So sari is being prepared here. This is a handloom sari. And here this is a machine loom. This is a machine loom. On the machine also this lady is weaving sari. But they were using machines. By reading, see here I already told you Dharmavaram is called as silk city of Andhra Pradesh. Dharmavaram is called as silk city of Andhra Pradesh. And we have wide varieties of Pochampalli Pattu and Dharmavaram are famous types produced by our state. And Pochampalli Pattu is also called as Jamdani, tie dye or Jamdani, and Dharmavaram is famous for wide border and rich buttas or dots. So these are the types of Pattu, means these are the types of silk. Here also they were given Banaras, Kanchipuram, Dharmavaram, Narayanpet, Kottakota, Pochampalli are all types of silk fabrics. They get their names from the places where they are made. So how these names were came? Dharmavaram, Banaras, Kanchipuram, Narayanpet, Kottakota, Pochampalli are all the types of silk fabrics and also the names of the places. So where they are made, the places of their names are heard to be as their types of silk. సో అది ఎక్కడైతే తయారు చేస్తున్నారో ఆ ఊరి పేరునే ఆ సిల్క్ యొక్క ఫ్యాబ్రిక్ పెట్టడం జరుగుతుంది. సో పోచంపల్లిలో తయారయ్యే పట్టుని పోచంపల్లి పట్టు అని, బనారస్లో బనారస్ పట్టు అని. సో దీస్ నేమ్స్ ఆర్ కమింగ్ ఫ్రమ్ ద ప్లేసెస్ వేర్ దే ఆర్ మేడ్. And you also heard the names of Tussar silk, Muga silk, Kosa silk, Eri silk. You went through different stalls. So ఇవే కాకుండా ప్లేసెస్ని బట్టే కాకుండా ఇంకా టస్సర్ సిల్క్ అని, మూగా సిల్క్ అని, కోసా సిల్క్, ఎరీ సిల్క్. సో దీస్ ఆర్ ఆల్సో నేమ్స్ ఆఫ్ ది సిల్క్. దీస్ నేమ్స్ వర్ కమింగ్ బేసింగ్ ఆన్ ద వెరైటీస్ ఆఫ్ సిల్క్ బై ది సిల్క్ వామ్. సో సిల్క్ వామ్ ఏదైతే తింటుందో దాన్ని బట్టి కూడా ఇది టస్సర్ సిల్క్. అంటే ఇప్పుడు మనం సిల్క్ వామ్ జనరల్గా దేని మీద ఫీడ్ అవుతుందని చెప్పుకున్నాం, మల్బరీ లీవ్స్ కదా. సో బట్ దిస్ టస్సర్ సిల్క్, ద సిల్క్ వామ్ ఈస్ ఫీడింగ్ ఆన్ ఓక్ టస్సర్ ట్రీస్. సో టస్సర్ లీవ్స్ మీద ఇది తినడం వల్ల ఇది టస్సర్ సిల్క్గా, అండ్ ముగా లీవ్స్ని తినడం వల్ల ముగా సిల్క్, అండ్ కోసా సిల్క్ ఈజ్ డిఫరెంట్, అండ్ ఎరీ సిల్క్ ఈజ్ డిఫరెంట్. And you also told that the silkworm names. Bombix mori is the scientific name of silkworm which is feeding on mulberry leaves, right? So it is given here in page number 21. Page number 21. Apart from mulberry, tussar silk, desali pattu is produced in our state. Some species of silk moths that lay eggs on Terminalia oak plantation produce tussar silk. Mostly tribal people rear these kinds of cocoons. This is silk plantation is mainly concentrated in Karimnagar, Adilabad, Warangal, Khammam, and coastal regions of East Godavari and Vishakhapatnam. So based on the types of food the silkworm eat, the silk is also different. The silk is also different. And I told you the life cycle of silkworm, and silkworm molts for 5 times. See, the first one is eggs, second one is imago. See, the first one is eggs, and it turns into larva. It turns into larva. Next it turns into silkworm. Silkworm turns to pupa or cocoon. Pupa or cocoon. And next it turns to imago. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5. So life cycle of silkworm. This diagram you should draw in your classwork notebooks, okay? Whenever you note the running notes, this diagram should be drawn in your classwork notebook. Okay, everybody are till figure 9 we have completed our lesson. And see here, do you know the thread you get from the average cocoon ranges from about 1000 to 3000 feet, and about 2000 to 3000 cocoons are required to make 500 grams of silk. This is about, see how much it is? Yeah, very large, and 1000 miles, more than 1000 miles. It is very లాంగ్. సో 500 గ్రామ్స్ అంటే వెయిట్లో చెప్తున్నాడు, 1000 మైల్స్ అంటే లెంగ్త్లో చెప్తున్నాడు. మనకి 500 గ్రామ్స్ సిల్క్ తయారు చేయడానికి 2000 నుంచి 3000 కుకూన్స్ కావాలంట. ఒక్కొక్క కుకూను 3000 feet వస్తాయట. So that's not all. People involved in this process suffer from skin as well as respiratory problems due to continuous handling of silkworm and సిల్క్ ఫైబర్స్. సో ఈ సిల్క్ తయారు చేయడం అనేది అంత ఈజీ ప్రాసెస్ ఏం కాదండి. సో ఈ ఫ్యాక్టరీస్లో పనిచేసే వాళ్ళకి స్కిన్ ప్రాబ్లమ్స్ అలాగే రెస్పిరేటరీ ప్రాబ్లమ్స్ కూడా వస్తాయట. So this is all about silk, children. So ask your parents whether they have any types of silk and compare the silks. అండ్ మీ ఇంట్లో మీ పేరెంట్స్ దగ్గర ఏమైనా సిల్క్ ఉంటే అవన్నీ తీసి వాటిని ఒకదానితో ఒకటి కంపేర్ చేయండి. యూ కెన్ మోస్ట్లీ ఫైండ్ ద డిఫరెన్స్. అండ్ ద హ్యాండ్లూమ్ శారీ ఈస్ డిఫరెంట్ ఫ్రమ్ మెషిన్ వీవింగ్ శారీ. అండ్ you can also gather more and more information about this silk. And for the next class we'll learn about wool. For the next class we'll learn about wool. This is all the story about silk, and we have a short story. So where this silk is found? The silk is found in China. Silk is found in China. So I'll tell you the story in the next class. Okay, children? So stay home, stay safe, and drink only the hot water. So boiled water you should drink so that you take care of your health. So thank you, children. Stay home, stay safe. So don't use any outside foods, and don't use any outside unhealthy foods and all. So the weather is very cool, so take care of yourself. Thank you, children.